Welcome to LD Performance Podcast, the number one strength conditioning podcast on the internet. Before we get into this, just make sure you hit that subscribe button and also hit the like button if you're listening on YouTube. But today's podcast, as you can tell by the title, we are going to be looking at building strength versus muscular endurance. So two completely different training methods and goals. Strength training, like powerlifters, looking at lifting your max rep, and then muscle mass, bodybuilding, looking good naked. So two completely different goals that clients approach us with. We're going to cover how we approach these training methods, just to give you an insight into that. But yeah, literally, we're just going to cover what's the difference between working out to build strength and working out to build lean muscle mass. So this podcast, we're going to try and cover the key principles of programming for both these methods, strength and hypertrophy. And then we're also going to try and implement, or how to implement them into your training. Hopefully we get some, if you are on YouTube, we'll hopefully try and pop up some images of a training split. If you're listening, we will try and break it down and just read it out, and hopefully you can write it down, or just listen to it, and hopefully you grasp it from there then. But yeah, let's get into this, shall we? So yeah, the principles of strength. So basically, strength training is to develop strength to increase your ability to create maximal contraction to overcome an external load. So pretty much, basically, you're going to try and use the muscles to lift the max weight possible. So for an example of this would be to increase your back squat 1 rep over a training cycle. So we got a couple of principles we want to cover first. So these are just like the tip of the iceberg. Obviously you can go really deep into this. So yeah, so we've got three principles we really preach to clients and athletes. First one is recovery. Recovery is maximum when it comes to strength training. So high intensity strength training is really taxing on the nervous system, and it requires the body to adapt to see improvements. When it comes to strength training, the brain and muscles are learning to communicate more efficiently. So then you can recruit more motor units to produce a stronger contraction. And obviously, if you're tired and fatigued, or your nervous system won't be able to perform at the level it needs to in order to move those heavy loads. So that's why we need to rest. We need to make sure our CNS system, our mind, our muscles are fully recovered. So when it does come to lifting these loads, we're good to go. We're not fatigued, because that's when injuries start creeping in. When you're fatigued and you start trying to lift maximal loads. So yeah, just make sure you rest properly between training sessions, and your nutrition and lifestyle habits outside of the gym are dialed in as well, and it also helps promote recovery. And the biggest ones: sleep, hydration, and then nutrition. Stress, make sure stress is on a low. It also just helps increase recovery. But do the basics right, and then you can start adding more stuff onto your recovery protocol as you go on. Another principle, number 2, is less is more. This is a really tough one to get across to clients sometimes, because they see people doing loads of work, loads of reps, training constantly, training loads, but less is more. So yeah, like I said, these are one of the biggest mistakes strength trainees make. They try doing too much volume. And it's obviously compared to hypertrophy. So like bodybuilding, muscle mass, you need to do less. Strength training is a lower volume style of training. So lower total of repetitions and time and attention, and higher intensity. So heavier loads. So the intensity is high, meaning the weight is higher, but the reps is lower compared to hypertrophy, which we'll get into further on into this podcast. Rest periods will be longer as well, just to allow great expression, pure set, and time and attention. So obviously, because you're lifting more weight, the body needs more time to recover, recharge before the next set. And obviously, to build on our first principle, recover, there needs to be enough time between training sessions to promote recovery of the nervous system and the movement patterns you are training. Progressions for strength training over time will follow increasing intensity and decreasing volume. So that's principle 2, less is more. So like I said, less reps, more weight, and make sure you rest plenty between each one. And our third principle is honor the strength life cycle. So with this one, strength training, it must be relative to the individual's training age. To follow an advanced high intensity and low volume training program, you must earn the right by progressing through novice to intermediate training stages first. So yeah, you got to do the basics first to progress through the ranks. Like you see some of the best powerlifters in the world, they didn't just go in and start lifting stupid weights. They've basically followed strength programs their whole life to this point where they're at the top of the pyramid, or top of the pyramid, or the triangle of their sport. But obviously, they, like I said, training age, they've got like 20, 30 years of training behind them compared to someone that's just starting out. So yeah, this means starting with developing efficiency and movement patterns with relatively low intensity and higher volume, then developing a base for lower volume, high intensity. So yeah, with this one, it's just basically, you're just accumulating volume the newer you are to training. So you could be doing like more towards the hypertrophy side. So you're doing higher reps, but lower weight, building that efficiency, that movement pattern, make sure our body's used to it, building some muscle mass and strength over time. And obviously, as the weight goes up, the reps decrease over time. Just go from there. So just take your time when it comes to building strength. It's a long process. So yeah, those are our principles when it comes to strength training. We're now just going to go on to hypertrophy. So we're just going to cover our 3 principles when we are coaching someone that wants to look good naked, build muscle, bodybuilder, or just enjoys that style of training. So yeah, with strength training, our number one principle was rest, rest, rest. Number one for hypertrophy is volume, volume, volume. So yeah, one of the key ones for hypertrophy is volume. So building lean muscle mass in theory requires you to train a muscle as much as you can while still allowing recovery. So in a program design, we will include high frequencies of training muscle groups throughout the week, higher repetitions and lower loads, relatively higher time and attention per set, around 40 seconds a set pretty much of work, and progression that is based on increasing volume over time. So yeah, with hypertrophy, we love doing a lot of volume, but also a lot of time and attention. So we really like stressing that muscle. Like I said, one set, you could be looking at 40 seconds of work up to a minute of tension. So each set, you could be putting that muscle under 40 seconds of constant stress, which is then going to stress it and then basically send signals to the brain, letting it know that muscle now needs to repair, get stronger, grow, so it's able to handle that stress it's being put under. Our second principle is the body part split. So because the goal of hypertrophy is to increase the size of a muscle, it is best practice to break up the weekly training plan into body part splits. So yeah, you hear a lot about the bro split, chest day Mondays, stuff like that, the push-pull legs. There's loads of different splits for here. But yeah, that's all it is. You're just basically picking body parts and training on certain days of the week. A full body resistance training plan could include an upper, a lower body, like I just said, of muscle groups. But basically all you're trying to do is train a muscle group as frequently as possible while also allowing it to rest before the next training session also. So like I said, the push-pull squat or push-pull leg split is a great example, because you could do chest Monday, back Tuesday, legs Wednesday, you could rest Thursday, and then repeat again. And that's basically you training body parts twice a week. So where you could do, like some people do chest Monday, back Tuesday, legs Wednesday, arms or shoulders Thursday, arms Friday. You're basically just training a body part once a week. So if you can train it twice a week over the year, you've basically doubled that training volume on that double body part already by just changing your split. So yeah, what you're trying to do is increase the volume and repetitions that body part is doing over the months and years. And then our third principle of hypertrophy training is create an anabolic environment. So basically muscle is broken down in the gym and it's built in recovery. So while it's not important to be well recovered going into hypertrophy sessions compared to a strength session for performance, it's essential that your lifestyle and nutrition practices support this. So eating enough protein and being in a calorie surplus, practicing good food hygiene, sleeping 7 to 9 hours, getting sun exposure, hydrating, managing your stress. This will all help support gaining muscle mass. So those are just some insights into how we go about our principles of strength training and also our principles on hypertrophy and the big things we look at when it comes to those two things. Now we're just going to look at the difference between strength training and hypertrophy training. So let's just say for our strength training, day one is squat, bend, lunge, and bend again. So really looking at the lower body here. So we're doing back squats at a tempo of 2 seconds down, explode up, and we'll be doing that for 3, 2, 2 sets. So you can do a set of 3. The rest here is between 4 to 5 minutes. So a set of 3, set of 3, set of 2, set of 2. Like I said, you're going to rest 4 to 5 minutes between those sets, and you're really going to look at the tempo at 2 seconds, so a controlled rep down, and then explode as fast up to stand up position. B, we then got deadlifts. Again, same tempo, 2 seconds on the lowering phase, and then you can explode or stand up with the bar as fast as possible. Exactly the same rep scheme as the back squat, 3, 3, 2, 2, with a 4 to 5 minute rest. So here, you're looking at maximal loads, a set of 3, a set of 3, even add more weight, a set of 2, a set of 2. And then we're going to look at some accessory work kind of, or single leg work from there. So we've got a superset of front rack, reverse lunge, and Romanian deadlifts. So front rack reverse lunge, again, controlled reps, 2 seconds down, and then just stand back up. And we're going to be doing 5 reps each leg. You're then going to rest 2 minutes and do Romanian deadlifts. Again, Romanian deadlifts, we're looking at 3 seconds lower. So really slow, really looking at getting those hamstrings and glutes working and firing and getting those control that weight. Again, 5 reps. You're then going to rest 2 minutes and you're going to complete that superset for 3 sets. So yeah, that's pretty much a lower body on a strength day. So we've got back squat, a deadlift, and then a single leg, so a front rack reverse lunge, and then a Romanian deadlift. That is literally it for a strength program compared to a hypertrophy. So we're going to look at a squat hypertrophy session. So with hypertrophy, we're looking to increase that volume and also just try and get that body stressed as much as possible. So we got 3 supersets here. So superset 1 is a cyclist back squat, and the tempo is 2 seconds down and just stand back up. And we got 8 reps. So cyclist back squats, 8 reps, and then you're going to go into strict press. Again, 2 seconds lowering, so you're going to press up, 2 seconds down to the shoulder. Again, 8 reps on this. You're going to rest 2 minutes, repeat for 4 sets. So back squat, 8 reps, strict press, 8 reps, rest 2 minutes, 4 sets. You then got superset 2, barbell hip thrusts, 10 reps. Again, that's with a 3 seconds lower. And then alternating dumbbell curls, 2 seconds up, 2 seconds down. And this is 20 reps alternating sides. Rest 90 seconds, 3 sets. So you're going to do 10 hip thrusts, 20 alternating dumbbell curls, rest 90 seconds, 3 sets. And then superset 3, you got dumbbell skull crushers, and then cable crunches. Skull crushers, 10 reps. Crunches, 10 reps. Again, rest 90 seconds. And you're going to repeat that for 3 sets. So you can see the complete difference between those two sessions. So strength, you've got 2 compound movements, and then let's just say a accessory work. And then you look at hypertrophy, you've then got 3 supersets. So completely 2 different training methods there when it comes to training. So just an insight into building strength versus muscle mass. Hopefully this helped you. What we look at, a couple of tips on how to improve your training, and also just give you an idea into programming and how a strength program looks compared to a bodybuilding program. But again, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And if you enjoy this podcast, please give it a share, and we get this podcast growing super quick. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.